So just a few weeks in, and I've already scrapped my first BigCommerce app. So yeah, going well. But in the interest of transparency, I want to bring you on this journey. I want to tell you about the decisions and the challenges I'm facing. And so here's what I ended up doing. The first BigCommerce app, I wanted to be really, really small. Obviously, just getting going, wanted to understand what it means to build a BigCommerce app, how you manage the installation process. And so I picked something that would essentially just be installing JavaScript onto a store. And one of the first things I thought of was prefetching. So I'm going to take you a little bit through what prefetching is. Prefetching is, a page loads. You can actually, as a developer, indicate to the browser what assets might be needed in the next 5 minutes. By adding a link tag to tell the browser to prefetch a particular image or JavaScript or CSS file, or even a further page. And this can be great because without kind of doing anything to improve the performance of your server, if you've already downloaded that asset, when a user clicks to load that image, it's instantly available because the browser has already cached it, which is a nice feature, and it's really, really easy to implement. You don't have to kind of go into service workers or anything like that. It's simply a link tag, as you can see here. It's a link tag to prefetch a particular image, and then it's available, and the browser will cache it for 5 minutes. So I thought this is really cool. Why don't I do that for pages, so that when I'm on a product listing page, I can preload a product page so that when someone clicks on it, it's a bit more snappy. There are a few libraries out there. Quicklink was one of the ones that I came across because it's by the Google Chrome team. So that's something that I was kind of giving it some plus points. And it has some features around only downloading when data saver mode isn't enabled, when the browser isn't doing anything else. But I found that it ended up prefetching quite a lot of assets. It would need quite a lot of configuration to try to not be too abusive on data. So one of the other libraries I looked at was Instant Page, which I really, really like. So it works just on, it only prefetches the next page when you're hovering over a link. Now that might seem like it's not that useful, but actually if you start hovering over a link, you might be up to half a second before you actually click on it. And so if the browser has already started to download that page, you've saved half a second on your page loads. So that's really, really nice. So I went through this process and I've kind of built all the foundation for the BigCommerce app. Thought I was basically almost there because all then needed to do was stick the JavaScript on. But it ended up not working. So I want to take you through the reason for this. The reason for this is actually for a good reason. It's a good reason that BigCommerce have blocked this from working. They have a response header just on their pages, not on their assets, for cache control, which indicates the browsers and CDNs what they should do and how long they should cache assets for. On documents, on pages, they say no store. Now what this means, kind of as it says in the name, is that it won't cache, and there's nothing you can do to really get around that. So unfortunately, prefetching is all around caching for up to 5 minutes, like I say. And so while it was making the prefetch request, and I thought it was working, when you actually navigated to that page that had already been downloaded, it was refetching it again. So you weren't getting any performance improvements. So that little app isn't going to work. You could still use it for images and CSS. So if you know exactly or you've got a pretty good idea what's going to be loaded, then you could still use it for that. But this cache control header is going to stop me doing that. So yeah, scratch one. I kind of didn't follow my own advice I give everyone else, which is kind of reduce risk early. But I'm grateful that I need to learn these things in terms of building a BigCommerce app and things like that. Anyway, so still feeling positive. Kind of really enjoying the new role so far. I'm going to tell you about the next app I'm working on in another video.